morning, guys. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit further about water and the importance that it has on planet Earth. Last week we were talking about how water is necessary for everyone to live, humans and animals as well. So today's topic will be on the water cycle. So our objective for today is going to be to draw a model of the water cycle and explain each stage using appropriate vocabulary. Okay, in order for us to create our model, we have to keep in mind that there's certain vocabulary words that we have to use. I went ahead and posted a workbank for you guys. Some of the words that we're going to be talking about is going to be evaporation, condensation, collection, solid, liquid, water cycle, sun, gas, and heat. So keep those vocabulary words in mind when you guys are doing your assignment. Today's agenda is going to be, we're going to be completing and analyzing a diagram of the water cycle. We're going to be watching a video about the water cycle. We're going to be completing, drawing a picture of the water cycle and labeling each stage with details. And at the end, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an exit ticket to fill out and turn it in before you guys go to lunch. Okay, before we get started with our lesson, I want to make sure that you guys have all the supplies that you guys need. So make sure that you guys have your science notebook, you guys have a pen, pencils, markers, color pencils, crayons, whatever it is that you're going to need to complete your drawing. We're going to make sure that you guys grab your assignment, the diagram of the water cycle, and make sure that you guys grab your assignment for the drawing of the water cycle as well. And on the back it has a rubric, so make sure that you guys use that to make sure that you guys are targeting all the required things that you need to include in your water cycle drawing. And finally, don't forget to grab your exit ticket. This is the last thing that you're going to turn in to me before you go to lunch. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. So let me ask you guys something. Where do you think water comes from? Can I get any volunteers? Yes, Myra. Water comes from rivers. Okay, yes. What else? Who else can tell me, where does water come from? Yes, Manuel, we have a lot of water in the ocean. That's correct. But has it ever occurred to you guys that water can come from the sky as well? Well, today's lesson, we're going to be talking about exactly where does our water come from. Okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to think about it. Okay? Where does water come from? What other places do we get water from? So I'll go ahead and give you guys 2 to 3 minutes, and go ahead, and once you guys get your ideas down, write them down on your notebook. Okay, all right guys, good job. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started with analyzing our water cycle. The first thing that we are going to do is, you guys have to keep in mind that the water cycle is the main source on planet Earth. There are 4 stages in the water cycle. It's the evaporation, condensation, the collection, or what we call the runoff, and also we have precipitation. Okay, so let's go ahead and split into groups. Okay, I want you guys to work together in groups of 3 to 4, where you guys are going to be analyzing a diagram of the water cycle. And make sure that you guys are using the words, the questions on the diagram to answer some of those questions and guide you into exactly what is the water cycle. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few minutes to work on that. And then we're going to go ahead and get back together, and we're going to complete an activity together as a group. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a few more minutes. Okay, good job guys, awesome work. Now I want you guys to go back to your seats, and I want you guys to sit tight and listen, because we are going to be watching a video of the water cycle. We are going to see how the water cycle works in action. What does it look like? What does each stage look like when it's working and going round and round? Let's go ahead and sit down. You guys can go ahead and take some notes, and then we're going to go ahead and go over some questions, okay? All right, guys. Good job. So how was that video? It was really good, right? I really enjoy it. So let me ask you guys a question. So now that we have analyzed a diagram of the water cycle, we have watched the video, we know what each stage looks like. So let me ask you guys a question. So what is evaporation? How does that happen? And remember, okay, I want you guys to utilize sentence starters when you guys are answering these questions for me. Okay, so for example, you can say, I think that evaporation is, okay, and I want you guys to use those vocabulary words because remember, we are scientists. We have to make sure that we are using the appropriate vocabulary, right? So in order for that to help you guys complete those, I want you guys to go ahead and use the words that I have provided you on the word bank to go ahead and help you guys out. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take some volunteers. Hi, Erin. Yes. So where do you think condensation comes from? How does it happen? And make sure that you guys are keeping in mind also the states of matter. Yes, Erin. Yes, good job. Yes, condensation is when the gas, evaporation, okay, turns into a gas and then eventually turns into liquid inside the clouds. Okay, so good job. Thank you so much for participating. What about precipitation, Priscilla? What is precipitation? What do we see any of the states of matter in play in that in precipitation at all? Yes, good job. So what happens is that once the gas condensates inside the clouds, it turns into liquid again. And eventually that liquid gets so heavy, which is what we call raindrops. It gets so heavy that it falls to the ground. And what we call that is precipitation. Now here in California, we see that as a form of rain. But if you go up, you know, maybe to New York, Connecticut, you'll see snow. In other places, you see hail. So it all depends where you live. But precipitation is when the liquid that forms in the clouds falls down to the ground again. Okay? So now I want you guys to go ahead and get into groups of two. And I want you guys to work together in creating and drawing the water cycle. When you guys are drawing the water cycle, you guys can go ahead and utilize your notes. You guys can utilize the textbook to help you create it. And remember, I want you guys to go ahead and use the words that we have in the word bank. Okay? Label them appropriately and tell me exactly what happens in each stage of the water cycle. Okay, so try to do as much as you can. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys about 10 more minutes, 10, 20, 15 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and get together. And whatever you don't finish, you can go ahead and take it home and finish it. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on that. Okay, good job, guys. You guys are doing amazing. I am super proud of you guys. So now that you guys have analyzed a diagram of the water cycle, you guys drew a model of the water cycle. We talked about what each stage is. So now, here comes the fun part. I want us to go ahead as a group, as an entire class, work together to label the stages in this drawing that I have up here. So I want you guys to tell me, and I'm going to go ahead and start labeling everything. Okay? So who can tell me what is the main source that gets this special cycle started? Okay, there's this major thing that gets it started. What is it? Michael, yes, can you? Very good. The sun. The sun is what gets everything started, guys. Okay, so heat from the sun warms the water. Okay, so the heat comes down and it starts to warm the water. All right, so who can tell me what happens next? Luisa. Oh, very good job. Evaporation. Yes. So what is evaporation, Luisa? Can you tell me what evaporation is? Very good job. Yes. Evaporation is when water changes from liquid to gas. Okay? And then this evaporation, the gas starts going up. And that is when the clouds start forming. Okay, so what is the next stage, guys? Sebastian. Very good job. Our next stage is called condensation. Condensation is when gas turns into liquid, what we call raindrops. All right, and we have two more. Who can answer those for me? Jesse. Yes. Our last stage is called precipitation. What is precipitation, guys? Yes. Very good job, Jesse. Yes. So precipitation is when water returns to the ground as rain or snow. So obviously that water comes down and eventually that water needs to return where it originally came from, right? Which is the ocean. So there is one last thing it is that we are missing, guys. So we did say that the water comes down, right, as rain, but what happens after that? It is something called the runoff. The runoff is when the water flows down back to the ocean, and then that is when the cycle starts all over again. Isn't that interesting? So the water cycle just keeps going round and round and round, and it never ends, guys. So we get started with the sun. Then the water starts evaporating because the sun starts to warm it up, and it goes up into the sky and it starts to form clouds. When it starts to form into clouds, liquid starts accumulating. So that evaporation, the gas, turns into liquid again, which is what we call raindrops. Then the clouds get so heavy that eventually that water needs to come down, and that is when precipitation happens. The water comes down and the water flows back to the ocean, and that is when the water cycle starts all over again. All right, guys, I am extremely proud of you guys. You guys have done an amazing job. So now I want you guys to go ahead and fill out your exit ticket. Make sure that you guys turn it in before you guys go to lunch, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.